Hello everyone, I'm Casper Kuma and welcome to the end of an obsession. Now if you remember, a very long time ago I played It Gets So Lonely Here, and apparently that is a prequel to this game, so if you want to watch that video first and then come back here, you might know things. I'm not gonna remember, it's fine. We're just gonna do it blind. You feel groggy when you finally wake up. The back of your head is throbbing and your mouth feels dry, as though it has been stuffed full of wool. With bleary eyes, you glance about. What time is it? Where are you? And perhaps more importantly, who are you? You don't remember. Any attempts to probe the nooks and crannies of your memory are depressingly unsuccessful. Dwelling upon your identity, too, deeply hurts. It's a dull sort of pain, rather than a sharp one, but it makes you wince nonetheless. Perhaps it's better not to attempt to remember too much, then. Thinking was never really your strong suit. You've always been a creature that existed upon pure instinct. A fool who had thought that she was more intelligent than she was, who... Ahem. It would seem I'm getting carried away. My apologies. This is not that sort of story, and in any case, I hardly have the energy to be too acerbic. Acerbic? I don't know. I'm afraid this has already been done before, and I wouldn't want to be repetitive, or worse still, trite and tedious. I will try to restrain myself for the rest of this narrative. Now, let us return to your predicament. You do not know who you are or where you are, but with some luck, there should be something close at hand to jog your memory. It's bright, and you have to blink away spots of white which bloom behind your eyelids. Hissing like a scalded cat, you rub your eyes with the heel of your palm. I heard that it's very bad to actually rub your eyes. Like, I don't know, I think that's how you mess up your eyeballs. You flatten them out too much or something. Your surroundings melt and twist you, rippling like the troubled surface of a lake. Then, all of a sudden, you hear a voice call to you, light and bright and full of girlish amusement. Oh, I see you're finally awake. Who said that? Ah, just there. You see her now. There's a woman standing by your bedside. She has hair the color of sunset that curls around her face. Her eyes are soft and the smile plays about her lips. She's got thorns all over her. I don't think this is a great idea. She looks sweet like an angel, but you know only too well that looks can be deceiving. You're unsure whether you trust her. It's hard to trust anybody when your head aches so much and you don't know where you are, especially a woman such as this who looks so very at ease. Does she not realize how anxious you feel, or does she simply not care? You try to ask her what's going on, but you can only get half the question out before you start to cough. Oh, you poor thing. The woman tuts, then hands you a mug of something warm. You've been through a lot, but don't worry, I'll look after you. Now here, drink this. You look down at the cup and its dun brown contents, askance. Is this really safe for human consumption? Yes, it's fine, silly. I've not poisoned it. If that's what you're worried about. In fact, it's the opposite. The opposite? Indeed, I enchanted it to soothe any unwanted aches and pains. I'm sure your head is aching. It must be after everything that's happened. What happened? Now, I'll only answer one question at a time. It'll get confusing otherwise, and you must be plenty confused already. Now come on, drink! You're a little hesitant to fulfill this woman's request. She's a stranger after all, and you have no idea what the liquid inside this cup is. This could be some sort of trap. But the woman is smiling, and she doesn't necessarily look wicked. Perhaps you can trust her? You bring the cups to your lips, not knowing what else to do. The weight of her expectant stare is uncomfortably heavy, and begin to sip. The drink is warm, surprisingly so, and it makes your lips tingle. As for the taste, well, it's not unpleasant. In fact, it's quite nice. Is that honey? You only intended to take a small sip of the curious drink, but before you know it, you've already downed the whole mug. It tastes too good, and your head does feel a lot lighter now. You thank the woman hesitantly. You know not what else to say, and she beams. It's alright. I thought you could use a little pick-me-up after everything. You've not had an easy time of it. Haven't you? No, you don't remember, the woman asks. Not a single thing. Well, maybe that's for the best. What happened to you was probably quite traumatic, though I did try to be gentle. Gentle? What did she do to us? That sounds like she must have really hurt us if she had to try to be gentle. I don't know. And we lost our memory. She must have hit us real hard in the head. I didn't want to cause you any undue hurt, but here's the thing. It's surprisingly hard to kidnap a princess from a palace without causing a bit of a fuss. The woman laughs. Her laughter is light, just like her voice, and it washes over you. It ought to be soothing, just like the drink she prepared you, but it isn't. Your shoulders do not get any looser. Instead, your whole body tightens. A princess, did she say? Yes, that's right, you're a princess, and I'm a witch. Everybody in the kingdom said you were singularly beautiful. Not that I put much stock in those rumors, of course. I mean, how many people can say they've actually seen a princess? I thought it was all hearsay, just stuff and nonsense, really. But then I happened to glimpse you during a royal ball held to celebrate your 18th year, and I realized the rumors were all true. You really are beautiful. You're so beautiful, in fact, I had to have you for myself. Woman, the witch, leans forwards. She's smiling, but there's something unsettling about it. Her teeth, you realize, with a start, are awfully sharp. Her nails, meanwhile, are terrifyingly long. She cups your face in her hands, her long, long fingers resting against your cheekbones. Her nails scrape against your skin like knives. Her breath smells sweet, but only superficially so. Underneath it, you think you can detect something of the crypt, something foetid. I've been laying low for a while, keeping to myself. I've been awfully good these last 100 years, but it does get boring, you know, always being on my best behavior. I'm a witch, so I'm supposed to cause an odd commotion here and there. It's all part of the profession. Witches exist to curse people and to cause problems. Lightly, the witch giggles, her sickeningly sweet breath skimming your face. And princesses exist to be kidnapped, especially pretty ones like you. That's the way it is. It's the way it's always been. I'm just fulfilling my role in this little story, so please don't get mad at me. We can't help our innate natures. The witch leans in further still, her long, fair eyelashes trembling. You look so pretty in that gown of yours, which was paler than the moonlight. But I think you look even prettier as my prisoner, at my mercy in this tower. You're in a tower? I mean, I did consider that with the windows and the round shape. There's not many buildings that are this shape, I don't think. Yes, that's right. It's a nice tall tower, out in the forest. Nobody knows where it is except myself, and it's protected by all sorts of enchantments. Are we Rapunzel? It's not possible for anybody to get in or out. Anybody except me, of course. The king and the queen can send as many search parties as they want. It won't make a blind bit of difference. You'll not be escaping here in a hurry. You're all mine, to do with as I please. And I'm not going to let you go. The witch's eyes flash like lightning. For a few moments she looks unsettling, unnervingly inhuman. You want to push her away, but you can't. Your body no longer wants to obey you. Was it the beverage she gave you earlier? The one which tasted of honey? You do not know. You have no earthly clue why your body is frozen, why you cannot bend your fingers nor blink your eyelids. Well, we drank something super duper suspicious. I think we know the answer. But these thoughts, and all other thoughts for that matter, are soon scattered. The witch dips her head. She closes her eyelids, her long lashes matting together. She parts her lips. Then she presses her mouth, which tastes of sugar and soil and something sinister, something which you cannot describe, against you. You, of course, are powerless to resist. How could you ever hope to push her away? You are only a princess. She, meanwhile, is a witch. It is her job to dominate you. Oh, what kind of game are we playing here? Oh my. Is that not how stories such as this always go? Well, 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 well. Once again, you feel groggy when you wake up. The back of your head is still pulsating, your mouth feels dry, as though it has been stuffed full of wool. Your stomach, meanwhile, is coiled up in knots. You feel sick. What time is it? You sit up in bed blearily, half asleep, wiping your eyes with the back of your arm when... Oh, are you finally awake? Oh? You glance up, your head snapping into position like a ball-jointed doll's. Are we dead? The whole, like, your mouth is stuffed with, like, feels like it's stuffed with stuffing. And the doll jointed thing. Did she kill us? You recognize the woman who's standing by your bedside. It is the same woman you saw yesterday, the one who looks like a rose. Did she not say she was a witch? How very curious. You ask the witch what she's doing, an innocent inquiry tempered by sleep, which makes her laugh. What does it look like, my dear? I am waking you up. Well, yes, you can see that. So why ask? But what time is it? It seems awfully early. It is not so very early, really. It is a sensible hour, one that young maidens— what fair princesses such as yourself should be up and about. I'm sure your servants awoke you far earlier than this, when you still lived in the palace to help you with your toilet. Did they not bathe you and brush your hair and dress you? Did they? You cannot rightfully remember, but the witch is waiting for an answer and you don't want to disappoint her. Is she really telling the truth? Are we really a princess or is she just making stuff up? I feel like she might be telling the truth. I feel like I vaguely remember that we might have there was a princess in the last game, so she might be telling the truth. If you really are a princess, surely you must have had servants. You nod. What else are you to do? And the witch smiles. I knew it. You should have been awake hours ago. But I am an uncommonly kind witch, and I won't scold you for being slatternly. I used to be scolded myself when I was younger for, all sorts of misdemeanors. Most of them were made up. I don't want to do unto you as others did to me, not when you are my very precious guest. Your face colors a bit at the compliment, though you cannot help but wonder who would be so foolish enough to scold a witch. Well, I wasn't always a witch, you know. Was she not? No, people aren't born as witches, dear one. They become them, after being subjected to enough hurt during their lives that they wish to shed their former selves, so that they might attain a power of their own. Witches are humans who have been wronged, who wish to inflict some part of their suffering upon others in turn. Not that I meant to hurt you, of course. That would be a waste. And you have such a pretty face, and such lovely long hair, too. Now. The witch beams, looking positively perky, as she retrieves a gilt-backed brush from your bedside table. Would you let me brush your hair for you, dear one? Your hair? Yes, your hair. It's awfully tangled, and you have rather a lot of it to look after. You must have been tossing and turning in your sleep because you've knotted it. You know, I don't like it when people brush my hair, because I also have long hair that gets tangled very easily, but it's like when other people brush it, they're not very gentle with it. They, like, I feel like it hurts. I'd rather just do it myself. It's like ripping off a band-aid, you know? It's just easier to do it yourself. I doubt you know how to brush your own hair with what your fancy upbringing, so may I? You eye the witch hesitantly, some of your former unease returning to you. Why, you ask the witch, does she care about your appearance so much? Why does it matter when you're trapped in this tower? Well, obviously she has a thing for us, and if she's got a thing for us, she might as well keep us pretty. It matters because you're a princess, dear one. A princess is still a princess, whether she's in a palace surrounded by her courtiers, or trapped in a tower with a wicked witch. In fact, one might argue that a princess is even more of a princess when she's being held hostage by a witch. And how does that work? It's how all of these stories work. Princesses and witches are just two sides of the same coin. The good and the bad, the maiden and the hag. Not that I think I look particularly hag-like. As far as witches go, I think I'm a bit of an anomaly. But you're an anomaly too, when it comes to princesses. Your hair is a rat's nest. I need to make you look presentable. For whose sake? For the sake of satisfying the story. You don't understand what she means by story. This is real life, is it not? Well, I wonder, what is real and what is not is often up to the beholder. You wouldn't wish to look disheveled should a handsome prince chance by your tower, would you? That would make an awful first impression. You know, somehow I feel like this isn't the type of game with a handsome prince. I feel like we got what we got right here. Is it likely that a prince would stop by here? Not in the slightest, but hope does spring eternal. If daydreaming about being rescued keeps you going, then who am I to rob you of that opportunity? Goodness, that is so generous of her. I know, I'm a veritable saintess. Now come here, your hair isn't going to brush itself. Man, this really is Rapunzel, isn't it? You can see that the witch is very insistent about this, though why you cannot fathom, so you give in. Isn't as though you have many other options, being locked away in this tower as you are. Excellent. Now just leave everything to me. I have experience, you know, when it comes to making princesses look pretty. Oh, really? Is she in the habit of kidnapping princesses? Wouldn't you like to know? The witch giggles as she settles herself down upon your bed, then reaches for your hair. Your body tenses at this initial contact, as if fretful she might strike you, might slice you. But the witch, despite her title, does neither of those things. Instead, she begins to work, as beaten as any drudge, running the comb through your locks over and over and over again until they start to crackle. Crackle? That's weird. Why would our hair crackle? That's not supposed to happen. On the third morning, you are ready and waiting for your visitor when she arrives, though perhaps appears would be a better word, inside your tower. You've come to expect the witch's presence, so you're not surprised when she takes a seat at the side of your bed. You regard her uneasily, still attired in your nightgown, your hair rumpled after yet another night spent tossing and turning. You think you had nightmares last night, though you cannot remember them, not clearly. Perhaps you were running in them. Is that why you awoke feeling so tense? Your heart beating a staccato rhythm inside your breast? Yes, that sounds about right. You were running. You can recall, albeit faintly, through force. I feel like I remember that. We had a... Yeah, it was like one of those types of games where you have to keep playing it over and over again. I do feel like every single time we started, we were running through a forest. And I think we met 3 different kinds of people. One of them was a princess. But then the witch holds up a wicker basket from what is truly a mouth-watering smell, which a truly mouth-watering smell emanates, and your half-recalled dream dissipates before your very eyes. The witch giggles, and in a girlish manner she says, "Hungry?" You nod instinctively. Without thinking about it, you cannot remember the last time you ate, and the witch beams. I thought so. Now here. The witch reaches into her wicker basket, then holds a flaky pastry out towards you. Do you want some? You stare at the pastry, your gaze affixed to it as if it were a holy grail, a sacred relic. All of a sudden you can think of nothing but food. You're ravenous, so much so it almost scares you. It is strange though. You cannot recall feeling hungry at all, not until the witch presented this pastry to you. It was almost as if your body forgot what it meant to be hungry until now. You could have done without the hunger pangs, but now you have remembered what hunger is, you can feel it gnawing on your insides. You're not dripping at the mouth at least, but you might as well be. You could reach out and take the pastry from the witch's long, bony fingers and then stuff it in your mouth. You could tear your teeth in it and then swallow it into 2 bites. The thought is a tempting one, but not a very princess-like. Starving though you might be, you must maintain your dignity. The witch watches as you hang back, bashed and tuts. Oh, stop being silly. If you don't get any food in your belly, you'll starve. Not even princesses are immune to hunger. Now look here. The witch breaks a piece of the pastry apart with her fingers, then she prefers it to you. Say, ah. What? Are you really doing this? Doing what? This play act? You mean like lovers, or else... Does she mean to treat you like a pet? I am not just treating you like a pet, you are my pet. I own you. You belong to me. You are mine to toy with as I choose. But for the present, I would prefer to be nice to you, not nasty. Don't make me regret this decision. The witch's eyes narrow. A foreboding shadow crosses her pretty face, though it lasts less than a moment before it dissipates. Now come, stop this silliness, eat. You still feel uneasy, but the witch's voice is firm and hard beneath the layers of sweetness and light, and you know better than to argue with her. You're already like your married couple. You do not want to incur her wrath. You lean in. Then, as obedient as an enchanted lover, you part your lips for your captor. Well, that was interesting. You spend your 4th day in the tower sitting by the window, looking out over the forest which surrounds you. There really are a lot of trees, you think distractedly, your legs dangling over the cool lip of the sill. They spread outwards like a green blanket, or else like an ocean wave rippling and undulating in the breeze. You cannot look directly at the ground for too long, it makes your head spin. Just how high up are you? You ask this question to the witch who is brewing a pot of tea over a small stove. She glances at you, a small smile playing about her lips, and says, "High enough, dear one." You ask her how high that is, and she chuckles. "Why does it matter? You won't be able to leave regardless, not unless you can sprout wings and fly like a bird. Do you think yourself capable of such a feat?" The witch's eyes bore into you. They're sharper than knives, and they make you shudder. I mean, this ain't so bad. We could stay here, right? Like, we got a warm bed, we got a... I don't know. She's nice, and she's giving us pastries. What more could we need? You glance away from her, back out the window over the treetops. There's a moment of silence. Then you ask the witch what she would do if you did try to jump from the window. What would happen then? Then you would soon discover that you are not a witch or a bird, and you cannot fly. You would hit the ground, and you would break all of your bones, and that would be that. Then you would die? Most likely, which is why I would not advise it. Of course, you are always welcome to try. But you'd be much worse off for it, don't you think? You suppose being crushed into a bloody meaty pulp on the ground would be significantly worse than submitting to the indignity of speaking to the witch every once in a while. I knew you'd say that. You are a clever girl. It must be your fancy education. You princesses are all so very smart. You bask in the compliment for a few moments, but something in the witch's words makes you frown. What does she mean, princess? Princesses? Why the plural? Are you not the first princess she has captured? Oh, we're jealous now. Oh, well, you know how it is. We witches are very long-lived. We have 9 lives, just like cats. Princesses, meanwhile, only have the 1. It would be awfully lonely if I had to pledge myself to 1 princess, and 1 alone, which I have endured for so many years. You understand that, don't you? Then, are you not the only princess she has kidnapped? Of course not. So long as princesses exist, witches like myself exist to lead them astray. But worry not. In this moment, you are the only princess that I care for, and I will take good care of you. I can promise you that. We're not her first. Oh no. And we're not her last either. Oh dearie me, where has the time gone? The witch addresses you thus during your 5th day spent in captivity, after she is tired of toying with your hair. She stayed at your side rather longer during this visit than she has in those in the past, and now the sun is beginning to set. The witch observes you, her long-lashed eyes narrows, then says, "It's unfortunate, but I fear I cannot spend too much more time by your side. I need to be off. Even I have work to do. How do we know she's not cheating on us? How do we know she doesn't have multiple towers? I don't know. I don't trust it." That's funny. You thought that as a witch it was her role to kidnap fair maidens. Is that not her primary line of work? Oh, I wish. It would be nice if there was any money to be made in kidnapping maidens. And who knows, perhaps there is. Yeah, what about a ransom? Ever think about that? There you go. If I put a ransom on you, I am sure the king and queen would acquiesce to my requests, and I can make a tidy profit from capturing princesses. But they say you should never mix work and pleasure. While it would be nice to make a profit from my passion, I wouldn't wish to tire of my favorite pastime. That would be a true tragedy. So she regards kidnapping young women as a pastime? Well, what else would it be? It's just a bit of fun. For her, maybe it is, but for you? Oh, I'm sure you'll get used to it soon enough. I've not been too unforgivably wicked to you, have I? You think briefly upon the kisses that the witch has plied you with during the last few days, her mouth pressed firmly against your own. You can recall the taste of her saliva upon your tongue. It was oddly floral, wasn't it? Is she actually a rose? Everything about the witch is oddly floral, though you think she might be compensating for something. Is she like... I don't know, is she like masking... Like... Is she like dead or something and she's like masking it with the... with roses somehow, you know? I don't know. When she kissed you, you thought you could taste the earth and the dirt, silty soil and writhing worms. She's dead. She's so dead. Either that or she's just made of dirt. Or she's a flower. I mean, these things are growing out of her, aren't they? Is she just a plant? But worms. She might be dead. A moment passes, you blink, then quietly you say no, she hasn't been too wicked to you. She has, by all accounts, been treating you quite gently, surprisingly so for a witch. Well, there you go then. You have enough food to eat and clothes to wear and books to read. What more could a girl want for? Oh, you don't know. Your freedom, maybe? Freedom is overrated. How much of it did you have when you were a princess? That is a good question. You cannot remember. That's what I thought. The witch smiles smugly, then she leans in. She takes your face between her palms, cupping it, then says, "Now look there. There are many, many people out there who seek the aid of witches such as myself. There are many sad, lonely little girls out there with no friends and family and nobody who will listen to them. Granting their wishes is my job, though I fear I've been ignoring their plaintive cries in favor of spending time with you. My clients will probably get angry if I keep shirking my duties. Now, this is peculiar. You're surprised that you're surprised that so many people would willingly seek the services of a witch. Do they not have a bad reputation in these lands? Indeed we do. A bad reputation is better than having no reputation, though. Some people are desperate enough that they're even willing to turn to the devil for help. I thought you would know that already, dear one. You fail to see how this conversational topic is related to you. But then again, you have always been a bit slow on the uptake. In any case, I think I'll be busy for a few days. I won't be able to pay you as many regular visits as I have been, but don't fret. I will try to hurry with my obligations as quickly as I can, so I can be with you once again, like fate ordained." Fate? Yes, indeed. A princess is nothing without a witch to keep guard over her. Without me, I fear your existence would lose all meaning. But I would lose meaning without you, too. We need one another, just like roses need earth in which they sprout, so of course I will return to you. I cannot help myself. We are drawn together, you and I, but if you wish for further reassurance, I do not mind making an oath. Now look here. The witch relinquishes her grip upon you and takes a step back. For a few moments you allow yourself to feel a flicker of relief, soothed by the distance which has now been put between yourself and the witch. Oh, she's got a knife. But then you see a flash of silver in the witch's right hand. Your relief soon withers. What is she holding? This is a knife, my dear one. Just a simple paring knife, really. I mostly use it for peeling fruits, but it should serve my purpose well enough. Behold. The witch lifts her right hand, holding it upwards so it is level with your curious eyes. She extends her long, bony fingers, flexing them so they seem to expand like the unfurling of petals of a flower. She's totally a plant. With her other hand, she holds the handle of the knife steady. Unblinkingly, she introduces the blade of the knife to her palm. Then she presses. Blood begins to bloom on her white flesh in moments, her skin cleaving beneath the tip of the knife. You watch entranced as gobbets of bright red blood splash against a silvery blade, sullying it. The witch cuts herself without any hesitation, without any emotion, as a gardener might snip through the stem of a flower with a pair of shears. Does she not feel any pain? It does not look like it. Her expression is quite impassive, unwavering even. You have wondered before, but you are quite certain now. She truly is not human. She has transcended some pretty notions to becoming something otherworldly, something extraordinary. Now let me do the same to you. Does she mean to? But of course, a pact has no meaning if only one person is making it. Just a promise. Just as promises have no purpose if only one person is willing to keep them. I'm already offering myself unto you, dear one. So you need to offer yourself up to me, too. That way, we will always be bound together, not through words which are flimsy, but through something much more immutable. Both paupers and princesses are capable of telling lies, but blood is always honest. The witch speaks in such a curious sing-song, which does not match how cold and inhuman her eyes are. They look more like flowers to me. She brings down her knife, smeared copper brown with her own coagulating blood against her palm. That's gotta give us some sort of infection. That can't be good. Mixing blood. She presses the blade to your skin, which is soft and unyielding, unmarked by any calluses. Yours are hands which have never known hard work. Yours are hands which have never before known any hurt. There, just stay still, alright? That's a good girl. You're doing so well. But that was before you met the witch. Why do they always go for the palms? You have so many nerves in there. Why don't people cut, like, I don't know, like, somewhere else, like maybe on your arm somewhere? Or your leg? I don't know if that's any better. Once more you find yourself sitting by the tower window, looking out over the forest. The witch was right, you think glumly as you scan the tops of the trees. This tower really is deep in the woods. Though you strain your eyes, there's nothing but green, green, and more green. The trees are nigh on endless. You've pondered the pros and cons of jumping from the window before, so that you might run to safety, but you already know that this is a fool's errand. Your room in this stone tower is too high up, for one thing, for you to jump. If you were to attempt it, it would shatter both of your legs or worse. You are unsure whether you can survive the fall, no matter how verdant the grass is at the base of your tower. And, even if you did survive, you would not know where to run. You would not know where the nearest city is. For all you know, it could be miles and miles away. Can't we make like a rope out of all these vines? We have curtains and a bed sheet. Couldn't we make a rope? Nobody will be coming to save you, and you cannot save yourself. Princesses shouldn't be too proactive. This isn't how stories like these are meant to go. Like a good little girl, you sit by your window looking out over the forest which stretches on endlessly, and you think. You daydream and you dither, but in the end you do absolutely nothing. Wow, we just gave up real easy. We're just gonna be here forever. Oh my god. Once again, the witch doesn't come to see you. It's been 2 days since the last you saw her. Only 2 days, but the time has begun to drag. If she went through all this effort to kidnap you, then shouldn't she make an effort to spend a bit more time with you? You'll have to give her a piece of your mind the next time you see her. It really isn't proper, leaving a lady such as yourself alone for so long. But has it really been that long? It has only been 2 days. That is not so very much. Why then do you feel so uneasy? You have a vague feeling that in your past life, a life that you can't remember, you did more than sitting about or lying about waiting. But what else do princesses do other than wait? They wait in their palaces for balls, and then they wait at these balls to be asked to dance, and then they wait for the handsome princes to propose and whisk them away to other bigger castles. You should be used to all this inertia, this yawning empty nothingness, but it still gnaws at you. It consumes you, eating you away from the inside out. But you are a good girl at the end of the day, and you know better than to overstep the boundaries of the role the witch provided you. You are a princess, and princesses ought not to try to escape. All you can do instead is remain in your room and let the world pass you by. We're pretty weak-willed, aren't we? We could have done something by now, surely. I don't know. Wow. Is she not going to come visit us ever again? Oh, she's here. Okay, never mind. Dear one, it really is good to see you again. I missed you. That is what the witch says when she appears in your tower one sunny morning after smoothing down the satiny fabric of her petal-shaped gown and adjusting her hair. You jump upon hearing the witch's honey-eyed words and drop the book you were perusing from your awkward fumbling fingers. Wide-eyed, you glance towards the window where your unexpected, though perhaps anticipated guest is standing. You hope it does not show on your face. You do not want to be too woefully obvious. Part of you is relieved to see the witch again. You still do not care for her, of course. She's your captor. But her company is better than no company. Though you have always had a fondness for reading, books can only alleviate so much of your loneliness. It has always been better to have somebody else to speak to, even if that somebody else is a witch. How have you been getting along, dear one? The witch asks you, her voice positively skipping as she approaches you. I hope you've not been too bored without me. Your cheeks prickle as you dip your head. Quietly, you mumble something in response. Though it has not been too bad, really. You have been reading, and books are amusing diversions, yes, I know that full well. I used to read a lot myself when I was younger and more awkward than I am now. In my youth, all my friends could be found inside books. I'm glad that we have so much in common. You'll have to tell me all about the stories you've been reading later, but for now... The witch looks you up and down. She takes your disheveled state. You have not been awake long, though the sun is high in the sky in tuts. Your hair is full of more knots and tangles than a bramble bush, and the collar of your off-white nightgown is slipping down one of your shoulders. You must make quite the sight, a supposition that the witch affirms with a click of her tongue. Dear, dear, you have not been looking after yourself at all. I know being shut up in this tower must be tedious, but you are still a princess. You cannot afford to be so careless with your appearance. You really would be helpless without me. The witch retrieves the brush from your bedside table, then approaches you. Let's get you looking pretty, shall we? The mattress depresses beneath the witch's thighs, and you sigh. You know that there's little point in trying to pull away from her. Even if you did, where would you go? The witch is all that you have. Without her, you are nothing. I think we have Stockholm Syndrome now. Your own worthlessness has already been imbued deep within your bones. You do not want to admit it, but even you cannot deny the wave of relief which comes when you finally submit to her. You know, I thought this was gonna have a bit more choices, but I think we're just playing a story. That's fine though. It's kind of interesting. The witch stays with you in your tower for a few days, just as she did when you were first incarcerated. She tells you stories about her travels and about sad girls who wishes she, oh, so kindly grants. She also tells you fairy tales, some of which you remember, though vaguely, from your childhood. She toys with your hair, weaving flowers through it, and she brews you cups of tea to keep you warm. She dresses you up in various outfits, and she paints your face as if you were a doll. Then, when the night falls, she takes you to bed, embracing you, your bodies slotting together as if they were meant to be. Though her touch unnerved you in the beginning, you begin to find a strange sort of comfort in her proximity. You cannot recall anybody being as gentle with you as her. Though perhaps that is not saying very much, given you cannot recall much at all. Then, when she leaves you, you cannot help but feel her loss. The tower feels uncomfortably empty in her absence, like a newly missing tooth, an empty cavity which aches. You sit up in bed early in the morn after her departure and toy with your hair. You run your fingers through it just as the witch did, but you are hopelessly clumsy and your fingers falter. You try to braid your hair, but you cannot manage it without it coming untied. Part of you wonders whether this is not some great failing. Given you are a princess, are princesses not supposed to take great pride in their looks, primping and preening? You must be a poor sort of princess. But despite that, the witch still cared enough to try and kidnap you. That must mean you are worth something. If not to your parents, did they ever really love you if they haven't bothered to look for you? Then to the witch. At least you have her, and that is enough for the present to soothe you, no matter how hollow your heart might feel. I mean, I feel like with all this time you spend alone, we could probably figure out how to braid our hair somehow. It's not that hard, right? I mean, maybe we're just not trying hard enough. Or maybe we just really are bad at things. The days pass by slowly as you wait for the witch's return. Not, you try to tell yourself, though, that you really care about her. She might have braided your hair, oh so gently, threading flowers through it, and she might have fed you sugary sweet treats with her fingers, but still she tore you away from everything you once knew and loved. I mean, but we can't remember it, right? She has ruined your life. You know that you should despise her. But when the witch finally returns, you set your book down a little too quickly and look at her a little too expectantly. The witch seems to notice this. She notices everything with those eagle eyes of hers, because she giggles and says, My, somebody's eager. Did you miss me that much, dear one? Your face flushes at this like red-capped mushroom, and inwardly you wince. You wish you weren't so transparent. You look at your feet, you cannot look at the witch, your captor, and mumble something that is only faintly intelligible. Your response is hardly elegant, but the witch catches the general gist, and because she chuckles. Come now, don't be like that. I know you like me, really. Otherwise, you wouldn't look so enthusiastic. You tell the witch solemnly in the voice of a truculent child that you are not enthusiastic. She's reading too much into things. If you say so, dear. The witch smiles and reaches into the wicker basket that dangles from the crook of her arm. It seems like you're determined to be difficult today, though why I don't know. You'll ruin your pretty face scowling at me like that. But maybe this will cheer you up. The witch draws something from her basket, and entranced despite yourself, you observe her. You see that she's clutching a small stack of books, 3 of them to be precise, bound in leather. She holds them to you like a peace offering, her smile soft. Here, is this enough to satisfy you, dear one? You thank the witch for her thoughtfulness, feeling shamed by your earlier conduct, and she beams. Is no trouble at all. I would not wish for you to be bored. Now, let me look at you. How have you been faring in my absence? I see you've been eating well, that's good, but... The witch examines you critically, as a sculptor might eye a piece of marble, conjuring with the mind's eye the hidden piece of art waiting to burst forth from within it. Something about the way the witch looks at you makes you tremble. Her gaze really is discerning. It's as sharp as a razor, uncomfortably so. Why does the witch make you feel like this? You do not know, but... Oh dear, your hair looks awfully naughty. I fear you've not been taking proper care of it. You ask the witch once more why it matters, and she tuts. Of course it matters. If you stop paying attention to your appearance, my eyes might begin to wander. I am a fickle woman, after all. Wait, so you don't really love me, you just love me for my hair. You have to love me even if I'm unsightly. She's hardly a woman, she's a witch. Yes, exactly. We're notorious for being inconstant. Though I suppose that is what happens when one lives as long as we do. The witch chuckles and retrieves the gilt-backed brush from your bedside table next to a pile of books. Now, would you let me take care of you? Let's get you looking presentable. You bristle at the witch's words, how impetuous she is, though you wonder whether your response mightn't be, in part, from anticipation. The thought of being taken care of is not wholly unpleasant, even if the one who means to take care of you is a witch. I mean, I think we're in too deep at this point. Wow, we have been here for forever. It has been almost a month since you were kidnapped. Not that you know it. Time has lost all meaning to you, shut away within your tower, but it continues still. I mean, does she give us anything else to do besides books? Like, can we, like, have paper and draw or write or whatever? Or maybe some, well, maybe not yarn, we'll knit ourselves an escape rope. That is 30 days and soon to be 30 nights, more than 700 hours spent trapped within the stone walls of your new home. Yes, you suppose you might have begun to regard this place as a home. It is where you now live, whether you like it or not. You have not yet found a way to escape. You do not know if such a way exists. The walls of your tower are thick and impermeable, and your room is too high up for you to jump out the window. There are no stairs which lead downwards to the entrance at the base of the tower, if indeed there is an entrance at the base of the tower. For all you know, there is no way out. Is that not what the witch told you? She said she was the only one able to enter and exit at will. You, meanwhile, are quite in her thrall, incapable of escaping. You've been in there for such a long time, you're beginning to wonder whether you want to escape. Where would you go if you were able to leave? What would you do? You do not know. So you continue to stay here. There's nothing else for you to do. Are we keeping, like, tally of it all somehow? Like, I don't know, I guess we don't have anything in there, because we could, like, you know, have one of those prison chalk walls where you put your tally on it to see how many days you've been there. So it's a sign of craziness when you just keep tallying away. Do you ever feel like screaming, dear one? See, she knows we've been keeping a mental tally. The witch asks you this question one day when she's sitting with you upon the bed. Once more she's toying with your hair, her fingers snicking through it like teeth of a comb. Her fingers are long and cold, as are her nails. They scrape against your neck, oddly inhuman, and you tremble, though you try to suppress it. You do not want her to know that she unnerves you, or worse still, that she endears you. You ask the witch, who sounds uncommonly weary, whether something is bothering her, and she sighs in response. Is it that apparent? It is apparent, yes. It is not like the witch to speak of being tired. You thought this was an emotion which afflicted lesser people, not all-powerful beings such as herself. Oh, you flatter me. I am hardly all-powerful. I endured my fair share of hardship before I was able to become the woman I am today. I have suffered in my time, oh yes, more than you might realize. But my recent suffering has been one of more manageable garden variety, I suppose. You incline your head, taking care not to disturb the delicate braids the witch is twining through your hair in interest. What manner of suffering could be described as garden variety? It's silly, really, but... The witch clears her throat, then says, I told you that I grant wishes, yes? You think she had mentioned it, yes? Well, there's the thing. Putting yourself in the servile position to others only ever results in headaches. So many girls demand so very much of me. It fast becomes tiring, and they can be so ungrateful, too. I've been doing my best to live up to everybody's expectations, but it wears upon me. I've rather begun to sicken of other people. They can go and rot for all I care. But you are different. I know no matter how much hardship I have to endure, you will not leave me, you will not abandon me. I won't let you. I mean, if she likes us so much, she should spend more time with us. She seems to leave us for too many nights, and we ain't got nothing to do. She has to make a magical Game Boy for us or something. Anything. Damn. My, you really have become obedient, dear one. The witch's voice is warm in your ear, her breath ghosting against your skin as she sits behind you upon your bed. Once again, the witch is toying with your hair. She never seems to tire of it, and you no longer try to pull away from her. You do not want to. What would you be without her? At this point, you can hardly imagine. The witch, recognizing how dependent you have become, giggles and says, You really are a good girl. You were quite the handful in the beginning, but you've warmed up a good deal. It makes for quite the change. Now, tell me, dear one, do you miss me when I am not there? You swallow. Your own saliva tastes musty on your tongue, like an old dress which has not been worn in years, like a subterranean prison cell which sees no sunlight. Though the witch is asking, it is a moot question. Charity knows the answer. Yes, you miss her. When she's away, you miss her awfully. How nice. I'm glad to hear it. It's wonderful that you can finally be honest with yourself, but I think you're still holding back. Holding back? Indeed, I think your feelings towards me, dear one, are even more intense than that. If you miss me, then it makes me wonder. Do you also love me? For a few moments you simply sit there, stunned. You know not what to say, what to do. Though the witch's touch is gentle, you feel trapped, a prisoner clapped in irons. If you had strength enough, you'd throw her hands off you and scramble away, clutching what little remains of your dignity to your chest. But what dignity do you have left, really, when you have already surrendered yourself to a wicked witch? You can no longer pretend to have any airs or graces, but even then you can find that there's only one thing you can say to her. I don't love you. Ooh. Oh? The witch frowns, her arms crossed. Is that so? You're worried initially that the witch might be hurt by your response, but that does not seem to be the case. Instead, she seems to ponder now, now holding one hand beneath her chin. A moment passes and then... Well, it's no matter. I expected as much. We haven't spent all that much time together, not yet at least. For a witch, a few months is nothing, really. We are beings who exist beyond mere mortals' conceptions of time. We see years as seconds, months as a mere blinking of the eye. I could keep doing this over and over and over again, until you profess to love me, as I know you do deep down. Here the witch's smile takes a sinister edge. She retrieves her knife from the air. Where did she pull that, you hardly know. Then says, "And I think that is just what I will do. Now please don't squirm, dear one. This won't hurt too much." You want to ask her what she means and what she wishes to do with that knife, but you cannot get the words out, though perhaps this is a good thing. Such questions are awfully trite and tedious, and they are pointless besides. You already know what the witch is planning. She moves in, quick and nimble as a dancer, winding an arm about your waist. In the the padido? I don't know. The paste do dux. You are her partner, pulled close to her chest as if she were a lover's embrace. You feel her fingers splayed against you, feel her breath upon your cheek. Oh, that's gotta hurt. Then you feel the blade of her knife. It enters your chest, plunging deep, deeper than you thought it was possible for such a small life to penetrate. You gasp. You splutter. The front of your nightgown blooms red, just like the garish rose, so bright it hurts for you to look at. It's too painful. The smell of copper fills the air, it fills your mouth, your vision begins to skew, as does your body. You pitch to one side, clumsy as a duckling, no longer a ballerina worthy of performing upon the same stage as the witch. She's graceful and elegant, as if she's made of air, and you have never felt more lumbering. You pitch to one side, the witch stepping back in a fury of crimson as she does. Oh my, careful dear, I wouldn't want you to stain my lovely dress. Ouch. Then your head hits the floor with a smack. For a few moments as you lay there, you know pain, a sharp, intense agony which consumes you like a wildfire. Your blood pours from your chest, pooling on the floor in a sick, sticky puddle. You try to breathe, but your body refuses you. Your lungs ache, and your every inhalation is agony. The few sad, pathetic snatches of air you are able to inhale taste like glass. It hurts. It hurts, it hurts, it hurts. But to you, your immense relief, it doesn't hurt, but to your immense relief, it doesn't hurt for long. The witch bends down, knife in hand. Gently she caresses your face as though she means to soothe you, as though she cannot countenance how you came to be in such a sorry state. My apologies, dear one. I wasn't as efficient as I would have liked. I still don't have much practice with this, but I'm sure you'll forget it all soon enough. In a few minutes this will all fade away just like a bad dream. Then she plunges a knife into your limp, unresisting body once more. You feel the cold, inorganic material plunge deep inside you, chilling you from the inside out. The knife violates your body, which is fast becoming a corpse. More of your life's blood oozes from the gaping, violent wound in your stomach, which is very, very red, just like a rose. Then there is nothing. You bleed out, your vision blurring, and you die. You do not even have a chance to try and resist your fate. This witch is not merciful, no matter how she claims to care for you, and she will not grant you such a reprieve. Why would she when you rejected her so callously? In this fairy tale theater full of bad endings, you reaped what you sowed with your cruelty, your callousness. But don't worry, this is not the end. Don't you know that all fairy tales have to have a happily ever after? I wonder if we're a witch. You know, since it seems like we also have quite a few lives. You feel sick when you finally wake up. Like an injured animal, you lie there, so enfeebled you can scarcely move. Your chest hurts as though it was recently split apart. Your heart, meanwhile, hammers anxiously in your breast, a thick, unwielding piece of muscle which is working too hard to assert its own existence. With trembling fingers you look down. You half expect to find the front of your nightgown dyed red with blood, but it is not to be. Your nightgown is pure, peerless white instead, and with the fabric smooth and unwrinkled. How peculiar. You were so convinced upon waking that you would find a crater in your chest, a hole where your heart used to be, that your reality is a touch disappointing. It feels like a letdown. But you would rather have your heart in place, you suppose, inside your breast than outside it, and laying upon the floor. With your immediate welfare assured, you then glance about your surroundings. You think that this room, with its stone walls and bookcases and wooden chair by the window, looks vaguely familiar. Where have you seen this before? You wonder this, trying to grasp at your faint fleeting memories when you hear a voice. You whip your head about, the lights in the room flickering, the sun outside sinking, then rising again, and... Oh, I see you're finally awake. You recognize the voice, but where is its owner? Ah, just there. You see her now. There's a woman standing beside your bedside. She has hair the color of sunset that curls around her face, her eyes are soft, and a smile plays about her lips. She looks sweet like an angel, but you know only too well that looks can be deceiving. Have you not spoken to her once before in this very room? You're sure you have, but the harder you try to grasp the details, the more faint and flimsy they become. Perhaps you're making it up. You've always had a perchance for daydreaming. You have not seen this woman before, and if you have, you must have seen her in a dream. Or else perhaps a nightmare? Oh, you poor thing, the woman tuts. It's almost as if she can tell what you were thinking, or maybe she can simply see your feelings written upon your face, because she says, "You look to be in a bad way. You're awfully dazed, but I ought to be able to help you. Here, drink this." The woman with eyes like roses hands you a mug, one which is earthen and full of some warm liquid of suspicious honey-eyed hue. You look down at the cup and its dun brown contents and askance. Is this really safe for human consumption? Yes, it's fine, silly. I've not poisoned it, if that's what you're worried about. In fact, it's the opposite. The opposite. Indeed, I enchanted it to soothe any unwanted aches and pains, and I'm sure your head is aching. It must be after everything that's happened. What happened? Now, only answer one question at a time. It'll get confusing otherwise, and you might be plenty confused already. Now come on, drink. You're a little hesitant to fulfill this woman's request. She's a stranger after all, and you have no idea what the liquid inside the cup is. This could be some sort of trap. But the woman's smiling, she doesn't necessarily look wicked. Perhaps you can trust her. You bring the cup to your lip, not knowing what else to do. The weight of her expectant stare is uncomfortably heavy and begin to sip. The drink is warm, surprisingly so, and it makes your lips tingle. As for the taste, well, it's not unpleasant. In fact, it's quite nice. Is that honey? You only intended to take a small sip of the curious drink, but before you know it, you have downed the whole mug. Tastes too good, and your head does feel a lot lighter now. You thank the woman hesitantly. You know not what else to say, and she beams. It's alright, I thought you could use a little pick-me-up after everything. You've not had an easy time of it, haven't you? No, you don't remember? The woman asks. Not a single thing. Well, maybe that's for the best. What happened to you was probably quite traumatic, though I did try to be gentle. I didn't want to cause you any undue hurt, but here's the thing. It's surprisingly hard to kidnap a princess from a palace without causing a bit of fuss. The woman laughs. Her laughter is light, just like her voice, and it washes over you. It ought to be soothing, just like the drink she prepared you, but it isn't. Your shoulders do not get any looser. Instead, your whole body tightens. A princess, did you say? Yes, that's right, you're a princess and I'm a witch. Everybody in the kingdom said you were singularly beautiful. Not that they put too much stock in those rumors, of course. I mean, how many people can say they've actually seen a princess? I thought it was all hearsay, just stuff and nonsense, really. But then I happened to glimpse you during a royal ball held to celebrate your 18th year, and I realized the rumors were all true. You really are beautiful. You're so beautiful, in fact, that I had to have you for myself. Is this just gonna repeat the same thing? Because I think we can skip, probably, stuff that we haven't seen. I'll just save just in case if it skips too much, but let's just try it. Maybe this one or this one? No, it's not the one. The woman the witch leans forward, she's smiling, but there's something— oh, that's just autoplay. Let's try this one. Then you take in the woman standing before you. Or is she a woman? It's hard to tell. Her appearance is oddly amorphous, seeming to shift even as you observe her between various ages, various states of being. In one moment she looks younger than you, fresh-faced and rosy-cheeked, a young maiden not yet in her 18th year. But in another moment you could swear she's ancient beyond mortal comprehension, Decades of experience painting her face so that the hollows of her eyes seem to sag. How old is this girl woman? This apparition of no fixed appearance with her pale skin and pale pink hair. You do not know. You cannot get to the bottom of her. She's like a puzzle box, a mystery which demands solving. Oh my god. What's the matter, cat? Can you hear the meowing? But you are tired and your head hurts, and you scarcely know who you are, let alone who this girl, this woman is. You cannot think. It hurts to think. But that does stand to reason, does it not? The woman, did she not introduce herself yesterday as a witch? Said that you were a princess, and princesses are not supposed to think. If you try to employ too much brain power, you will accomplish naught, saving ruining your good looks. It is better not to bother. You ask the witch what she's doing, an innocent inquiry tempered by sleep, which makes her laugh. What does it look like, my dear? I'm waking you up. Alright, and then we've seen this before, so it's skip. Briefly, you think of denying her query. Though you know you are being unreasonable, it almost feels like an accusation, as if she's mocking you for needing to consume food to live. For some reason, admitting to the witch that you possess such a base need feels excruciating. You just as soon admit that you were rolling about in the dirt like a beast. That is how she makes you feel. You keep your mouth closed, your lips pressed together, but though your mouth might be silent, the rest of your body is not so obedient. From your stomach, a low earthly rumble emits, loud enough that there is no mistaking it. You wind your arms about your stomach, but it makes not a blind bit of difference. It continues to rumble regardless, low and deep, like an undersea disturbance. The witch notices it. Well, of course she does, how could she not? And giggles. Well, at least your body's honest, even if your mouth isn't. Your face flushes bright red at this, of all the indignities, but the witch does not linger upon it. Perhaps she's trying to spare you. Instead, she reaches into her wicker basket and holds a flaky pastry out towards you. Alright, and then we've eaten that pastry before. The breeze disturbs your hair and the hem of your dress. You exhale. A few moments pass, awkward moments, as the witch hums to herself, while you glance out over the trees. A question rises to your throat, one which feels far too large for your slender body. You know you will not like the answer, but you still feel compelled to ask. Why, you ask the witch, did she trap you in this tower in the first place? What does she want from you? Oh, you silly thing. The witch steps aside from the stove, then kneels before you. She takes your hands between her long, bony fingers, then gives them a squeeze. A shock of cold knives through you and you shudder. With wide, deer-like eyes, you observe the witch, as softly she says, I don't want anything from you, I just want you. You do not understand the distinction, and you tell her as much. What does she mean? What I said, you don't need to do anything, dear one, or say anything, you don't need to be anything other than yourself, of course. I didn't bring you here because I desire you to act a certain way, I just wish to enjoy your company. There's something a little flattering, you suppose, about that. Your heart flutters, color rising to your cheeks. But it still does not answer your question. If she wanted only to enjoy your company, why did she have to keep you a prisoner? Could she not enjoy your company in another manner? One that's less inconvenient? Naturally, this is what I wished, but it isn't so easy, you know? It isn't? No, dear one, you are a princess, you see, and I am a witch. We could not have been together if you remained in that palace. You would have been wed for a boorish, loutish prince who wouldn't appreciate you, and I would be distraught. Distraught? Does she truly care for you that much? I care for you a lot, dear one. The witch speaks softly, her voice disarmingly gentle as she cups your cheek, her fingers sliding into your hair. Her digits are still disturbingly bony, but you find you don't mind it as much as you thought you would. It no longer bothers you. There's something almost soothing about her touch. That is why I had to kidnap you. If I want to put it selflessly, not selfishly, it's very different. I suppose I could say I meant to rescue you from your tedious fate of being wed to some strange man and whisked away to a foreign land, taken far away from me. But I am a witch, so I am selfish. And that's not really why I brought you here. I brought you here because I wanted to be with you. I couldn't bear to see another speak to you or touch you. I wanted to keep you all to myself. Which is why you cannot leave. I knew, from the moment I laid eyes on you, that I wished you to be mine. And so I took you. That's all there is to it. And if you ask, your voice shaky, you were to jump out the window, what then? Then you would soon discover that you are not a witch or a bird, and you cannot fly. You would hit the ground, you would break all your bones, and that would be that. Then you would die? Most likely, which is why I would not advise it. Of course, you're always welcome to try. And then we've read this before. Skippy skip, skip. Your brow furrows, your expression flat and dull, uncomprehending. Did you once turn to a witch, this witch, for help in the past? If you led a life as sheltered as the witch is claiming, it doesn't seem beyond the realms of possibility. But this, like so many other things about your past, will have to remain a mystery. In any case, I think I'll be busy for a few days. I won't be able to pay you as many regular visits as I have been, but don't fret, I will try to hurry with my obligations as quickly as I can, so I can be with you once again, like fate ordained. Fate? Yes, indeed, the princess is nothing without a witch to keep guard over her. Without me, I fear existence would lose all meaning. Alright, skippy skip, skip! Yes, you think, that is the right word for it. Your tower is lonely. You have been trying not to admit it, not even to yourself, because that feels like a confession of weakness, but the quiet has been gnawing at you. Though the witch is no ally of yours, it is quite the opposite. In fact, it is nice to have another human to interact with. Not, you suppose, that she is a human, not in the traditional sense of the word. She's still witch. You cannot trust her, and yet... How have you been getting along, dear one? The witch asks you, her voice positively skipping as she approaches you. I hope you have not been too bored without me. Your cheeks prickle as you dip your head. Or your cheeks prickle. Quietly, you mumble something in response, so that has not been too bad, really. You've been reading, and books are... Amusing diversions, yes, I know that full well. I used to read a lot myself when I was younger and more awkward than I am now. In my youth, all my friends could be found inside of books. I'm glad that we have so much in common. You'll have to tell me about all the stories you've been reading later, but for now... The witch looks you up and down, takes you in your disheveled state. You've not been awake long, though the sun is high in the sky and tuts. Your hair is full of more knots and tangles than a bramble bush, and the color of your off-white nightgown is slipping down one of your shoulders. Skip it a skip! Who else do you have, after all, to spend time with? Who else will look at you like the witch does, with enchanted eyes, as if everything you have to say, not that she gives you ample opportunity to speak, is utterly enrapturing? You have never met anybody like her before. At least you do not think you have. Your past is hazy, your memories vague and cloudy like the surface of an old mirror, and you cannot remember. Still, you think that the witch must be special. She makes you feel special, and that is reason enough to hold her in high esteem. Then when she leaves you, you cannot help but feel her loss. The tower feels uncomfortably empty in her absence, like a newly missing tooth, an empty cavity which aches. You sit up in bed early and mourn after her departure and toy with your hair. You run your fingers through it just as the witch did, but you are hopelessly clumsy and your fingers falter. Skip it a skip! Oh my. Wow. You stare at the witch with wide, anxious eyes, just like a deer's. The question has stirred something within your chest, half-remembered dreams, perhaps, or passing fancies. Or maybe even memories? You can recall somebody asking you this question once, a long, long time ago, but you don't remember who it was. You don't remember how you responded to their query. You do remember the pain, however, short and sharp. Oh, she must have asked us if we love her. Then there was nothing. Well, the witch asks, her rose-colored eyes fixed upon you. What do you have to say? You do not know. You stand there shaking, your hands clasped to your heart as if to defend it from a vicious predator. Clever-eyed crow, perhaps, who likes to make meals out of knock-kneed princesses. What should you say? So many options. I think we'll go with I don't love you. Though you know the witch sorry, I was drinking water and Yeah. Though you know the witch's question is a loaded one, you know full well what what answer she wants. You cannot bring yourself to give it. You cannot tell the witch that you love her, even though your body is screaming at you to do so. Your every nerve is ending on fire. You have vague memories of beholding the scene once before, of the witch standing before you, knife in hand, but even then you will not betray yourself. You will not let her get the better of you. She has taken so much of you already. Your freedom, your future, in so many hours, and you will not let her have your heart, too. This is something you must guard jealously, for as a princess, is not your heart your greatest asset. You must keep it safe, so that you might bequeath it to the handsome prince who might one day come by and rescue you. But the witch must know what you are thinking, because the smile which paints her lips is cruel, mocking even. She snorts, then says, "Oh, you mean to reject me because you think a prince might rescue you?" It is a pretty notion, my dear, but there's no prince to rescue you now. There's just you and me. You can accept my love or not, but if you don't, you will suffer the consequences. Haven't you learned your lesson already, you silly thing? You really are stubborn. There's a flash of light. The witch retrieves seemingly from thin air a knife with a short blade, but is sharp enough. You know from past experience how very devastating that the blade can be. You are sure now, as you back away from your captor, that this scene has played out once before, exactly as it is now. You're sure that the witch has descended upon you, knife in hand, but your feet refuse to move. They root you to the spot, as if you were an old oak tree incapable of breaking away. This is simply your role to play in this story. Fair, pretty princesses always meet tragic ends like this when there are no princes about to rescue them. You played with fire, you poor little fool, and now you have become hopelessly burned. The witch plunges a knife into your breast for a second time, while you stand there unresisting. This time she makes quicker work of you, and she pierces your heart in a single blow. Your body slumps to the ground, senseless, just like a doll's. And once again, the cycle repeats itself. I mean, I think we're gonna have to eventually just give in, right? I mean, I think, deep down, well, either that or it's Stockholm Syndrome. I think we love her. You feel pained when you finally wake up. Your whole body burns as though cast in the flames, and the first thing you do upon waking is scream. You scream over and over and over again, like a banshee, all while tearing at your body, grabbing fistfuls of cloth between your fingers as if you mean to rend your own nightgown asunder. Someone stabbed you. You can remember that much. A knife plunged into your chest, between your ribs, and pierced your heart. You bled out and you died, and it hurt. It hurt so much you don't know why you're still sitting here, unblemished, or why you're still breathing. What is going on? You shouldn't be alive. You died. You're sure of it. You know you died. You felt yourself dying. You felt your corpse slowly becoming as cold as you lay there, still and stiff, a porcelain doll made immovable, mutable flesh left to mold and wither away. But your chest is whole, your nightgown clean. There's no blood. There's no wound. What happened? You examine yourself, your heartbeat slowly steadying. With shaking hands, you press your fingers to your chest as if this might reveal some secret cavity in which you can wriggle your digits inside like worms. You pat yourself down, but in vain. There's nothing wrong with you at all, and now you're starting to feel rather silly. You flush, embarrassed at your unseemly conduct, when all of a sudden you hear a footstep. You whip your head upwards, the light in the room flickering and the moon outside sinking, then rising again, and... Oh, I see you're finally awake. You recognize the voice, but where is its owner? Just there, you see her now. There's a woman standing beside your bedside. She has hair the color of sunset and the curls around her face, her eyes soft, and a smile plays about her lips. She looks sweet like an angel, but you know only too well that looks can be deceiving. Skip it to skip. Wow. She stayed at your side rather longer during this visit than she has in those past, and now the sun is beginning to set. The witch busied herself for hours playing with you as one might a doll, though you, of course, are much more than that. While dolls have hard, impermeable bodies made of porcelain, which are incapable of experiencing sensation, it is not so for you. You feel every single touch the witch bestows upon you. When her fingernails press against your scalp, you cannot help but shudder. You've begun to think during the ensuing days that perhaps things would be easier if you were a doll. I'm still not entirely convinced that we aren't a doll. Then you would not sigh so from her touches, would not lean into her kisses, though you wish you could lean away. If you could not feel emotions, perhaps the witch would not take so much obvious delight in drawing them out of you. Then perhaps she would not torment you so. Like a playground bully, the witch keeps on pressing. She pokes and she prods until your stony facade crumbles. She takes delight in your whimpers, but she seems to enjoy it all the more when you snap at her. You've told the witch to leave you alone before, but she never does. Your aggression only ever procures from her that light, tinkling laughter which has begun to grate on you so, the laughter of a child who knows not the hurt she's causing. Or perhaps she does know, but she does not care. You're unsure what is worse. The witch finally seems to have had enough of your company, however, because she rises from your bed. The witch observes you, her long-lashed eyes narrows, then says, "It's unfortunate, but I fear I cannot spend more time by your side. I need to be off, even I have work to do. Skip it to skip!" You're unsure whether you can survive the fall, no matter how verdant the gas is at the base of your tower. And even if you did survive, your legs did not... And even if you did survive and your legs did not break from the impact, which are already two great superstitions, you would not know where to run. You do not know where the city is. For all you know, it could be miles and miles away. It could even be across a sea of lava, across the dark, tempestuous ocean. You have no idea if this is a country you were born in, or neither do you know where you are on any map. The witch is the only person who can tell you where you are, and you get the distinct feeling that she's not being wholly truthful with you. She responds to your queries, yes, but her words seem to bend just like the sunlight when it meets the surface of a mirror. Words are like quicksilver, they shift and mutate, and you cannot pin them down. When you ask her where you are, she smiles and laughs and says, "Why, in this tower, of course." When you ask her where the tower is, she says, "In the woods." That's not a lie, of course. You are most definitely in the tower, which is situated in the woods, but any attempt to extricate further information from her results in laughter. If you ask too many questions, she invariably starts kissing you. Well, that's not so bad. It's quite effective in shutting you up. It's very hard to articulate yourself when the witch's tongue is nudging against your own and her arms are about you and you are sighing. When she takes you in her arms, she holds you and she kisses you and you forget about your questions. You forget about trying to escape, if only for a brief, blissful moments. There's nothing, where nothing much seems to matter save her. Then she leaves you, and you find yourself feeling more uneasy than ever, disgusted at yourself for cleaving so easily to her kisses, and even more confused. You still have no idea where you are, but maybe the particulars don't matter. You are in a tower in the forest, and nobody but the witch knows where you are. Nobody will be coming to save you, and you cannot save yourself. Even if you could jump from the window, you can't, and you know where the city was, you don't. There's something rather uncouth about attempting to escape. You are a princess, after all, and princesses aren't supposed to rescue themselves. That's not how stories like these go. They're supposed to wait until a handsome prince rescues them. That's what you do. Like a good little girl, you sit by your window, looking out over the forest which stretches on endlessly, and you think. You daydream and you dither, but in the end, you do absolutely nothing. I mean, just give in. I mean, you seem to like her company quite a bit. You're gonna get a lot more kisses if you stay with her. Once again, the witch doesn't come to see you. It's only been 2 days until I saw her, only 2 days, but the time has begun to drag. Skip it a skip. That's why you begin reading. It's fortunate that the tower isn't completely devoid of entertainment. There are books, at least shelves full of them, stacked against the stone walls. There's so many books, the wood shelves groan beneath their weight. You're hard-pressed to pick up a book, but you eventually settle upon romance. It's frothy and inoffensive, and not particularly interesting, but you're losing yourself within its pages. But losing yourself within its pages is better than sitting idle. It at least occupies your brain. It stops you from thinking about your predicament, which can only be described as dire. And it stops you too from thinking about her. That really is the most frustrating part about this whole experience. When the witch was with you, forever by your side, you could not wait to be rid of her. Now that you are rid of her, you have nothing left to look forward to save for your next visit. The world has become very small indeed since you were kidnapped, compressing down on itself until it could fit inside of a walnut shell. That is why you read. If you immerse yourself in somebody else's life, even if it is made up, it might stop you thinking about your own. At that moment, it's the only meaningful way in which you can be free. I mean, does she have any, like, spicy books in there at least? I guess they said inoffensive. Dear one, it really is good to see you again. I missed you. That's what the witch says when she reappears to your tower one sunny morning after smoothing down the satiny fabric of her petal-shaped gown and adjusting your hair. Skip. She's done this many times before, but you find yourself shrinking away from her regardless. You do not want the witch touching your hair. You do not want her touching any part of you. You do not want to be alone, but you do not want to be with her either. You do not want her to disappear, but you cannot bear to look at her. Paralyzed by the indecision, not knowing what you want, not knowing what to say, you edge away, small and afraid, while the witch smiles. Now let me make you beautiful. The mattress depresses beneath the witch's thighs and you sigh. Skip. Aren't princesses supposed to be calm, composed, and perfectly poised? You might not remember much of your past or of your life in the palace, but you think you should be accustomed to compliments at this point. Surely princes have been going down on one knee and taking your hand for years, ever since your 18th birthday. It should be ingrained in you, but you feel awkward and clumsy before the witch's words regardless, stripped bare and oddly exposed. It is enough to make you wonder, are you really a princess at all? You look at your feet, and you cannot look at the witch, your captor, and mumble something that is only faintly intelligible. Your response is hardly elegant. The witch catches the general gist because she chuckles. Come now, don't be like that. I know you like me, really. Otherwise, you wouldn't look so enthusiastic. Skip. You mean to reply, really do, but your words catch in your throat. Your initial instinct is to thank the witch for her kindness, but why should you? She kidnapped you. You do not owe the witch anything. You do not owe her anything at least, but that makes it all the more complicated to navigate this gift. What should you do? You die there for a few moments, rendered mute. You never know what to say to the witch, while the witch chuckles. Well, let me leave these for you by your bedside table. You can peruse them when it's most convenient for you, or not, if they aren't to your liking. I'm not boorish enough to force a gift upon a fair maiden if she doesn't want it. It's quite curious, given how she's boorish enough to kidnap you. Now let me look at you. How have you been faring in my absence? I see you've been eating well, that's good, but... The witch examines you critically, as a sculptor might a piece of marble, conjuring with her mind's eye the hidden piece of art waiting to burst forth from within. Skip. You do not know, but you wish she didn't. It makes your skin crawl. Oh dear, your hair looks awfully naughty. I fear you've not been taking proper care of it. You ask the witch once more why it matters, and she tuts. Of course it matters. If you stop paying attention to your appearance, your eyes might begin to wander. I'm a fickle woman, after all. She's hardly a woman, she's a witch. Yes, exactly. We're notorious for being inconstant. Though I suppose that is what happens when one lives as long as we do. The witch chuckles and retrieves a gilt-backed brush from her bedside table next to the pile of books. Now, would you let me take care of you? Let's get you looking presentable. You bristle at the witch's words, how impetuous she is. Though you wonder whether your response mightn't be, in part, from anticipation. The thought of being taken care of is not wholly unpleasant, even if the one who means to take care of you is a witch. I couldn't remember if we read that before. I feel like we might have. I don't know. Surely we must give in soon, though, right? It's been almost a month since you're kidnapped. Not that you know that. Time has lost all meaning to you. Okay, skip. Time unspools before you, each day blurring into the other. You have so much time now, but there's precious little to fill it, save for reading. You've gone through most of the books in your tower already, and you're beginning to long for something more light, frothy fairy tales, even more substantial than seafoam. Perhaps you will ask the witch for more books when she next visits you, though you have no idea when that will be. Her visits are sporadic. She does not always stay for very long. She seems to care more about how you look than what you think, and she fusses about your hair and clothes more than your words, but maybe that is to be expected. You are a princess after all. You were raised like a sacrificial lamb to be bartered away to the highest bidder. That's how all princesses are, whether they're engaged to princes or kidnapped by witches. They exist to be looked at and to be admired. What they think is of little consequence. The witch's treatment of you rankled in the beginning. It stung your pride you suppose as a princess. In the beginning you railed against her. Now, however, you begin to miss her company. Every day when you wake, you are aware anew of just how much your world has shrunk. It contains nothing save the witch. There's nothing for you to anticipate beyond her visits, nobody for you to speak to save for the voices in your head. It wears upon you, but you have the strangest feeling that this is where you belong. This is your new world. You are playing the role that is expected of you. Is this not what princesses are supposed to do? Being a prisoner must be in your blood. Is part of who you are, ingrained into you, just like your knowledge on how to pour a cup of tea without spilling it, or how to address your superiors without making a nuisance of yourself. You know how to be quiet, how to be meek, how to be mild. You do not know how to stop worrying, however. What will happen to you if this witch begins to tire of you? What then? That's when she kills us. Probably. Or turns us into a doll. I don't know. I'm still kind of thinking we might be a doll. You know? She might have stolen our soul from an actual princess and shoved us into a little thing. You ever feel like screaming, dear one? I believe we've been through this before. The witch asks you this question one day when she's sitting with you upon the bed. Once more, she's toying with your hair. Okay, skippity skip. It almost feels like being back in the conservatoire again. Conservatoire? What is that? Some sort of school for witches? Never you mind, dear. The witch chuckles softly, her fingers stilling about in your hair. I feel like I remember something. I definitely think we did summon this witch. I think we were being bullied in school and we didn't have any friends? And I think we asked for her to come save us, maybe. Or maybe for her to be our friend? Her voice sounds light as always, but you detect a strange note to it, a degree of hesitance. Did she misspeak? Perhaps she let it slip a bit more than she intended. It is a nuisance, that is all. I vowed that I would not take on more favors for others, but even witches must fulfill their purpose. I've rather begun to sicken of other people. They can go and rot for all I care. But you are different. I know no matter how much hardship I have to endure, you will not leave me. You will not abandon me. Skip. You've grown more comfortable in her presence, more than you might imagined you might, and the witch has seen this. She sensed the easing of your breathing, the slumping of your shoulders, and she smiles from it, amused by your easy acquiescence of her affection. You've become docile, just like a cat, and she's well aware of it, and this fact brings a blush to your face. You look at your lap, your eyes half-lidded, and tell her that you are simply too tired to fight her off. You've ever been her prisoner for so long it would be foolish to remain antagonistic towards her. She is the one, after all, who feeds you, who entertains you, who keeps you company. You really are a good girl. You were quite the handful in the beginning, but you warmed up a good deal. It makes for quite the change. Now tell me, dear one, do you miss me when I am not there? You swallow. Your own saliva tastes musty on your tongue, like an old dress which has not been worn in years, like a subterranean prison cell which sees no sunlight. Though the witch is asking is a moot question, she already knows the answer. Yes, you miss her. When she's away, you miss her awfully. How nice, I'm glad to hear it. It's wonderful that you can finally be honest with yourself, but I think you're still holding back. Holding back? Indeed, I think your feelings towards me, dear one, are even more intense than that. If you miss me, then it makes me wonder. Do you also love me? You've been fighting off the slowly mounting feelings of deja vu since you first awoke in this tower, but this question finally brings you to your senses. Feel as though you've finally awoken, just like a sleeping beauty from a long, long dream. The witch has asked you this question once before. She asked you whether you loved her and you refused her. You were too proud and too haughty to accept her love, and you paid for it. She splashed your blood against the tower floor and you were left to lie there in a heap, sad, pathetic pile. You did not look very much like a princess then, for all your airs and graces. The witch left you to die, but she's a merciful witch, and she has given you a second chance. What will you say to her this time? Oh, we finally have the chance! I mean, we love her, right? Or is this what the game wants us to say? I mean, I kinda like her. I say we love you. I love you. In the face of the witch's inquisition, there's only one thing you can say. There's only one thing that destiny will allow you to say. This is the moment that your story has led up to. This is why you exist, within this tower, with the witch watching over you. You exist solely so that you can love her, and you know that the moment the words pass your lips, that you've done your duty. You have fulfilled your role in this story. There will be no more resisting from you now. Your shoulders slump in relief, finally content with your newfound bondage with this repeating, recursive nightmare as the witch smiles. She looks at you tenderly, as a mother might a child, as though you are her child, and you have pleased her by eating all of your vegetables or tidying up your toys. It took some doing, but you have finally given her the correct answer. Of course you love the witch. How could you not? She is all you know in this world, and all you have to rely on. And is blind resilience not what love is? The witch seems to agree because she giggles. Her fingers curl against your captive cheeks, her nails digging into them just hard enough to hurt, so sharp she threatens for a brief moment to draw blood. But your concerns are soon allayed, or else overwritten when the witch leans in. Softly she says, I knew you couldn't keep holding out against me. You were awfully stubborn, but all that silly resistance is in the past. Finally, you're all mine. My adorable, pretty princess. Then she kisses you. A harsh, crushing kiss which robs the air from your very lungs and the sense clean out of your skull. Well, we didn't die, so does that mean... well, I guess we're still gonna be trapped in this tower for the rest of our lives. You thought after confiding in the witch that she might be more compelled to spend time with you. You had hoped by sharing your gently blossoming feelings it would kindle a newfound understanding between the two of you, and that she would come to care for you. You had hoped. Oh, you are not sure what you had hoped, not anymore, but it was not this. The days continue to slide by, as slippery as Neil's back, and yet you see no sign of the witch. She left you food enough to last several weeks, food which does not seem to sprout mold nor turn sour no matter how much time passes. Perhaps it is enchanted. The hard loaves of rye bread the witch bequeathed you do not turn bluish-white from age, and the cheeses she bestows you with retain much of their flavor. The pundits of strawberries are still sweet, the cherry is tantalizingly tart. You're not in any danger of languishing anytime soon, but though your stomach is full, your heart feels disconcertingly empty. It feels as though the witch has stolen something from you, something precious which you cannot recover. The witch has already stolen you from your old home, your old life. She may have also stolen your old memories, though you are less sure about that. You're beginning to fear, however, that in the wake of your confession she's stolen something even more intimate. She's stolen your affection, plucking words of love from your lips as easily as she might twist a berry from a bush or the head from a flower. She has harvested your feelings in a manner which, in retrospect, seem uncomfortably calculated. Did she lavish you with gifts so that you might grow to adore her? Did she cultivate your feelings on purpose in hopes of reaping them, of having something else to steal from you? Now that she's claimed your heart, perhaps she no longer finds you amusing. Has she begun to grow bored of you? What will happen to you then? Will she abandon you all alone in this tower with no way of escaping, with no means of procuring your own food? If she were to do that, you are sure you would die, either of loneliness or starvation. You're unsure which would come first. You tried to take solace within the pages of numerous novels within your tower, but you have read them all before. The stories intoned with the pages do not change. They cannot distract you from your anxieties. The actions of the put-upon heroines, in any case, all seem awfully trite. There's a lot of running through the woods, brambles snagging at the hems of dresses, or else catching in hair, and anyway, these stories all end badly. The heroine always dies. As far as romance stories goes, they're not very cheerful. They cannot console you. The witch is not there, and in her absence you are all alone. Man, I can't believe she used us and then she left us. She took our heart and then she's gonna leave us this tower to die. We should have just said we didn't love her. The days continue to pass, but little changes. The witch pays you a handful of visits, but they are infrequent, far and few between, and they are depressingly perfunctory alongside it. These visits do little to assuage you that the witch still loves you. How can she when she comes and goes so very easily, just like a cat? If she loved you, could she really abandon you without a backwards glance? You do not know, or perhaps you do not want to. Dwelling upon it is too uncomfortable. Does the witch not know what she's doing to you? Does she not know how much you have come to care for her? Surely she must, for it was she who pulled that confession, timorous though it was and uneasy, from your lips. You told the witch that you loved her, and she repaid you by abandoning you. Did you come on too strongly? Was she unhappy to hear of your affection for her? It cannot be right, though. Not when she laughed upon hearing your confession. You thought it would make her happy, but was that not presumptuous of you? What do you know of the witch? You don't even know her name. You work yourself up in the knots every day with which passes, so much so that your insides feel uncomfortably tangled. Not knowing what to say nor what to do, you remain mute. It is easier to say nothing than to say too much, and to shatter what little regard the witch might have for you. But you ache for her presence, for her attention, and for her affection. And so, unable to stop yourself, you find yourself asking the witch what you did wrong. Why has she been avoiding you? Avoiding you, dear one? The witch looks at you questioningly, her expression so believably bemused that you begin to doubt yourself. I am not avoiding you, perish the thought. Why would I do something so callous? You're not sure, that is why you're asking her. She spends so little time with you lately that you just thought... that is where you're getting tripped up, dear one. You're a princess, therefore you should not think. You have no need for it. Princesses are made to be pampered by others, not to try and sleuth their way out of their own problems. You'll be much happier if you stop worrying, silly thing. Well, yes, you suppose she is right. You can see the logic there. Your life would be a lot easier if you could just simply switch off your worries as if they were a gas lamp, but... that's enough, dear one. Remember what I said. There's no sense in thinking. You will work yourself up again. But you cannot help but think that you have nothing else to occupy your hours when she's away, and she's been away so often lately. Yes, I suppose you're right. I have been keeping away from you lately, but it is not due to any malice on my part. No? Of course not. My feelings for you remain as strong as ever. But I have been awfully busy lately, that is all. There are many sad, lonely girls out there, after all, with wishes that need granting. If I have seemed at all distracted, that is why. It has nothing to do with you, so please do not cry. I cannot bear to see you looking so sad. What? Were you crying? Yes, you are. Your eyes are wet, and so are your cheeks, you poor dear thing. The witch tuts, then leans in. Gently she introduces her fingers to your cheeks, cupping them as if you were something invaluable. When she touches you like that, you feel as though you are precious. On your own, it is easy to get caught up in the mire of your own thoughts, but with the witch... Shh, easy now. Try not to cry, dear. You will spoil your pretty face. With the witch, you feel like the princess she claims that you are. She makes you feel as though, for the first time in your life, you are wanted, you are needed, you are safe. And perhaps that is why you begin to cry in earnest, the gentler the witch handles you. You always thought that was a foolish saying, to kill somebody with kindness, but now that you think you can finally see the logic behind it. The witch is killing you, whether she knows it or not. Even when she leaves you, you're not alone, not truly. She has burrowed her way into your heart, and there you fear she will remain, lodged from now until the end of all times. You'll never be able to disentangle yourself from her. You love her far too much for that. We're just gonna... I don't know. I don't think she really loves us. I have my doubts. You try to maintain a positive attitude as the days lapse, afraid that you might deter the witch if you become too mawkish. You can get through the days well enough, brushing your hair, painting pictures, or else flipping through numerous books which the witch has brought you. You have distractions enough to keep your mind and your hands occupied, a fact for which you are thankful. You do not have many distractions, but you will have enough. When the sun sinks beneath the trees, however, the sky turns dark blue, then black, and your doubts begin to pile up on you. During the night when it is cold and the wind is blowing, you can no longer fool yourself. Has it been a week, 2 weeks, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 since you last saw the witch? She visits you rarely now, so much that your cool and touched skin is beginning to yearn for the brush of her fingers. You sit by your window when the sun begins to sink and you watch as it dips beneath the horizon. You hope with the setting of the sun that the witch might pay you a surprise visit. You wonder whether she might appear at the window, pull you into her arms, and pepper your eyelids and your cheeks with kisses. But she never does. She just left us forever? Man, maybe this is where the torture begins. I mean, isn't it really easy to go insane when you're alone? It doesn't take very long. This can't be good for us. Not that I think we're still alive at all. You were sitting at the window again, as has become a commonplace occurrence for you, dreaming of what could be, of what should be. When you were first imprisoned within the stone tower, you used to dream of escaping from your confines and running far, far away. You had a dream of sitting on a cliffside with salty breeze in your hair and the sound of waves upon the shores in your ears. That or seeking refuge amongst the rows of thatched roof cottages in the quiet residence where few dwell. You dreamt of being taken in by someone wiser than you, someone kinder. You dreamt of being treated with care and respect. That is all you wanted. But your wishes have shifted since then, as has your heart. No longer do you dream of the seashore, of the waves, and of the cliffs. Your dreams have become rather isolated. You dream of residing within the walls of this tower, as you currently do, with the witch by your side. She tells you that she loves you, and you lean into her love. You accept it without question, as if her words were manna from heaven sweeter than honey. You no longer wish to be loved in the calm, quiet, measured sort of way. You want the obsessive, all-consuming love of a witch who was determined enough to keep you captive. What other form of love could be more meaningful than this? You do not want a bland love, a milk toast love, a common, everyday, unremarkable love. You've grown accustomed to the love of a love which possesses and which consumes. You want the witch to love you as much as you've come to love her. But when the witch finally does come to visit you, you cannot see any love upon her face. You cannot see any love in her eyes. They are cold and hard, just like stones. You gasp when you see her, and you did not expect her, and scramble to your feet. Your soles are bare. You did not bother to dress yourself, have not bothered for the last... How many days has it been? Do not remember. You have grown rather slovenly about your appearance. You no longer care to brush your hair, to change out of your nightgown, to don your petticoats, or your bodice, or even your stockings. What is the point when the witch has stopped visiting you? You would sooner lie in your bed like a consumative wench and slowly die. That's how it feels without the witch's company, like you are dying. You have known an intense, obsessive love, and now it is gone. Without that love, you begin to wither away, and it really is a tragedy. You hope the witch will be able to see how much you are suffering without her. You hope that she will take pity upon how very pathetic you have become, and she will promise to stay with you. You wait with wide, eager eyes, hoping that she will offer you some excuse as to her absence. It needn't be a good excuse, as long as it's not, I've grown tired of you, so long as it's not, I no longer love you, or worse still, I never loved you. If she lies to you, you can still love her. If she lies to you, you can pretend that she still loves you. If she lies to you, she can spare your feelings. The witch's voice is less than reassuring when she addresses you. Her voice is cool when she says, "Dear me, you are in an awful state. You haven't brushed your hair, and you haven't bothered dressing either. Some princess you are. Your parents would be ashamed. If a creature like you has any parents to speak of, that is. Creature? You look at the witch uncomprehendingly. What does she mean by that? I mean what I said. Just take a look at yourself. If you do not believe me, look at your reflection and then try to argue that you aren't a creature. You would look at yourself, but there is no mirror. You have not seen your own face save for the faint reflection in the witch's dark eyes for... God, how long have you been trapped in here? Ah, yes, I suppose that is true. I was hoping you might remember who you are for yourself, without needing me to spell things out for you. But you're remarkably dense, aren't you? I thought you were supposed to be wise, but I suppose even the most powerful witches are capable of self-delusion when the truth becomes too unpleasant for them to confront it. And I thought you said I wasn't supposed to think anymore, so how am I supposed to be wise if I can't think? Ugh, tongue-tied. What does she mean, witches? You thought that you were a princess. Oh yes, I did tell you that, didn't I? I thought it would be amusing. A bit of a role reversal. But I had wondered if you would like to be the heroine of a love story, for once rather than the antagonist, but this has dragged on for far too long already. It isn't entertaining anymore. It was never that entertaining in the beginning, to be honest, but then again, I've never been as cruel as you are, and I don't enjoy reveling in other people's misery. I just thought that you deserved a taste of your own medicine. Your own medicine? What is she talking about? What do you think? Just take a look. This should answer all of your questions, dear one. The witch, but is she a witch? Smiles sardonically, her eyes half-lidded as she reaches into her wicker basket which dangles from the crook of her arm. From within it, blanketed beneath a scrap of red fabric, she extricates a gilt mirror. The witch polishes the mirror with the hem of her satiny. It's satiny. I always read that wrong. Satin fabric. I always read it as satin fabric. Satiny gown, then hands it to you with an anticlimactic here. Your fingers brush as you reach tremulously to take the mirror. Your innate desire upon seeing that mirror is to draw away from it or else to dash it upon the ground. You do not want to think about what you will see reflected within its smooth, glassy surface. You are afraid if you access, all of this will be over. You will no longer be able to pretend to be a princess. But you are aware, at long last, that you are pretending. Perhaps you were always aware of it. You never really felt like a princess, even when the witch bestowed this identity upon you. The word princess never resonated within you. It never felt like you. You still cannot remember spending your days within a palace, or a castle, or even a dungeon guarded by a dragon. You cannot remember meeting any princes, kings, or queens. You're not a princess then. You were never a princess. But of course you always knew that. You just wanted to play pretend. Oh god, we look horrifying. I mean, like, we don't look horrifying, but we look horrified, I guess. But the face which stares up at you from the mirror's smooth, untroubled glass, all pale skin and dark, staring eyes, makes it obvious just what you really are. You were and always will be. A witch. I mean, I don't think we look that bad. That's right. The witch, Rosette, regards you unblinkingly, with dark, dead eyes, eyes which have seen far too much for one so young. But how young is she really? How long was she trapped, running through the fractured fairy tales as she tried to escape from you? You do not know. You hardly recognize her, but you recognize yourself. You might have lost sight of who you were when Rosette left you, but now... Do you remember? I remember. I always remembered. My name is Medea. Yes, that's right. I am Medea, and this girl is, or was, Rosette. And though our paths continue to cross, we have always been alone. This girl, once so innocent and assuming, languishing for want of love, has known what it feels like to be adored to the point of insanity. She's been drowned, buried, consumed by love, and in so doing, she has changed. She's not the girl she once was. She's become a fine witch in her own right, with eyes that reflect no light, with a heart that contains no love. She caught you, me, us, while we were drifting bereft, languishing for the lack of a little girl who had oh so cruelly broken ties with us, and she imprisoned us. I don't know how long we have been trapped here, nor how long Rosette has been toying with us, but I cannot even bring myself to resent her. I cannot hate her, no matter how much she might have hurt me. She called upon me when she was alone, and I answered. I promised that I would be there for her. We made a vow, and though she turned her back on me, our connection was never really severed. The love of a witch, after all, is a powerful thing. Even when poisoned, it continues to bloom bright red like roses. Rosette. Ah, my adorable, beautiful Rosette. No matter how much time passes, I still find myself drawn to you. Even now, I still adore you. Whether a mermaid, a poor village girl, or a princess, I will continue to love you. My feelings for you will never waver, even if you never had any fondness to spare for me. How could it? You ought to know yourself now, after becoming a witch in your own right, and that it really does get so lonely here. But we got a little animation, that's nice. I mean, I did have our suspicions that we were a witch in the beginning, after she said that we have 9 lives and we keep getting reborn, you know? I cracked this case wide open. I wish I could remember, like, us at the end. Because I didn't remember us having blue hair, but maybe we did? Oh, there's music. I do remember we did meet up with like a village girl who was kind of crazy, and I think she buried us alive. We met up with the princess who was also kind of crazy, and I'm pretty sure she imprisoned us forever. And I think we met up with was it a mermaid or something? And I think she drowned us. I wasn't expecting a whole song though. This is neat. I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure we were a witch in the last game too. Rory, I don't know. Why would we, if we were already a witch, why would we seek out a witch? So maybe we're just a normal girl? And then somehow along the way we became a witch? Man, all we want is love and a friend, or something of the two. The end of an obsession. Extra spicy. Kale chips. Something happening? I mean, are we just gonna live in this tower forever with the witch? Well, she doesn't love us. We need a witch that loves us. Although I was a bit confused with the mirror thing. Are we another person in there too? Like, did we capture somebody else? Because I thought Rosette was the other witch and we were Medea, but I don't know. What's in the extras? Gallery? Notes. End of the obsession. Sequel to Get So Lonely here. Yeah, maybe... I don't know, maybe I have to go watch watch me play that video. I'm trying to remember what happened. You need to read all 3 routes to get the true ending. I do remember, I think we did get the true ending. Possessive yandere, who later grows bored of her and tosses her aside. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Nice, nice, nice. But I think it's about time we get out of here. So that was the end of an obsession. I wish I remember more of the last game. I feel like I remember bits and pieces of it, but I can't totally remember all of it. But I don't know, maybe that puts me more in the mind of this protagonist. But either way, this was really good. I really like this game, and I don't know, it's an interesting story, I think. Even if it's not like, it's not a game that actually really lets you play a game, you know? Like, it doesn't really give us a lot of choices or anything, but it's a nice story. I think it's quite nice. But that's all for this one, so let me know what you think of the game down in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one. This is Casper Kuma, over and out.